to develop and implement a program for the care of children above the age of 4 years whose parents are under lawful custody. Aware that Article 53 of the Constitution provides for the rights of children, including the right to free and compulsory basic education. Section 22 of the Persons Deprived of Liberty Act and Child Care Policy also provides for the care of a child whose parent is deprived of liberty until the child still require parental support. Majority of these children often suffer from emotional distress, social stigma, and economic hardships, cognizant of the fact that all children should be accorded a means of maintaining their relationship with the incarcerated parents. Children have restricted economic resource available for their support, which in turn negatively impacts on their lives. Also, we have a motion brought by Honorable Mashua Waithaka, the Kikuyu Member of Parliament, Kiambu Town Member of Parliament, where a question is set to be put on the national policy on deworming of school-going children. The House urges the government through the Ministry of Health to develop a national policy on deworming of school-going children as a crucial part of mainstreaming healthcare services in the country. And Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution provides that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, including to healthcare services. It's aware that the relationship between a health education plays a significant role in school attendance rates. The negative effects of poor sanitation, such as parasite infestations, particularly among the school-going children, leads to anemia, standard growth, and other salient problems, which in turn leads to low school attendance and impacts education standards. And according to the research, school-based deworming is one of the most effective intervention. And now the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss, as the Speaker of this morning session, has walked to the House set for the 9:30 a.m. session.
Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. I direct that ring the bell for
having not order, the bell has been rung to allow members to walk to, and so that the second morning sitting of 23rd starts. And members of Parliament are expected to deliberate on a motion brought by Kiambu Town Member of Parliament, Honourable Mashua Waithaka, where the question is expected to be put on the national policy on deworming of school-going children. Where that Article 41A of the Constitution provides that every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, including healthcare services. The relationship between health and education plays a significant role in school attendance rates. The negative effects of poor sanitation, such as parasite infestations, particularly among the school-going children, lead to anemia, stunted growth, and other salient problems, which in turn leads to low attendance and impact education standard. And according to research, school-based deworming is one of the most effective intervention that provides a huge range of holistic and social benefits, such as increased school attendance and healthier kids who do better in school, while already utilizing existing school structures and administering deworming treatments to school pupils. Recalling that the previous programs conducted by the Ministry of Health in partnership with non-governmental organizations have only been piloted in few selected counties in the country, that the deworming efforts have been uncoordinated and dependent on external support with no clear policy and budgetary frameworks. And now the House urges the national government through the Ministry of Health to develop a national policy on deworming school-going children as a crucial part of mainstreaming of healthcare services across the country. There is also a motion where the question is expected to be put, brought by Honourable Felix Dewar, the Member of Parliament for Langata constituency, on the public health concerns at Langata Cemetery, where the House urges the national government through the Ministry of Health to urgently conduct an assessment of the public health risks posed by the continued use of Langata Cemetery and to institute mitigatory measures to collaborate with other stakeholders, including the Nairobi City County government, to identify a suitable alternative land for use as the cemetery. According to Article 42 of the Constitution, it provides for the right of every person to a clean and healthy environment. Article 69 of the Constitution also obligates the state to ensure sustainable utilization of the environment and natural resources, including land. Further, schedule to the Constitution assigns to the national government the function of land planning, including the general principles of land planning and coordination of the planning by counties, as well as matters of health policy. The matter has been left unaddressed and poses a significant health risk to the public. I'm deeply concerned that the situation has led to overcrowding and double allocation of burial sites, with bodies being buried in shallow graves, leading to frequent uncovering by wild animals from the nearby national park. It's also concerned that it has caused untold anguish, pain and suffering to the bereaved families and psychological torment to the neighbouring community of Langata constituency. And the quorum has been achieved, and now I'll hand you over to the plenary My name has been Angela Cherol. Thank you.
I think we now have quorum. We may proceed. We may proceed. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. We're going to begin the session. Honorable Kamket, I think you should break up your Kamkunji. Order. Let's proceed. And Didymus, Honorable Didymus Baraza.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, Honorable Bowen Kangogo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, 23rd August 2023, the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on the study visit to the Namibia on 12 to 15 June 2023. I have a second one, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also have a second one. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, 23rd August 2023, the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its considerations of the Water Amendment Bill, the National Assembly Bill, number 33 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next, the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Environment. You have a paper? You may proceed, Honorable Kikaria.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, 23rd August 2023, report of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on its consideration of the Climate Change Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 42 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order. Yeah. Do you, Honorable Chair, do you have a point of order?
Thank you,
Yes,
Honorable
I noticed
Speaker.
actually that you have a paper to table, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, proceed, Honorable.
Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, I beg to read the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 23rd August 2023, the report of the Select Committee on Member Services and Facilities on its standing visit to the House of Commons of the United Kingdom Parliament from 16th to 13th May 2023. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. There being not any other paper, I think we can move to the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
I think Chairperson, Select Committee on Implementation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Statement regarding the agreement between the government of the Republic of Kenya and the government of the Italian Republic on the Luigi Broglio Malindi Space Center by me, the chairman of the Committee on Implementation. Honorable Speaker, I rise to issue a statement to the House regarding the implementation status of the agreement between the government of the Republic of Kenya and the government of the Italian Republic on the Luigi Broglio Malindi Space Center, as requested by Honorable Owen Baya, CBS MP for Kilifi North Constituency on Tuesday, 13th June 2023. Honorable Speaker, the matter seems to have taken inordinately long to respond to due to delay in response from the management of the Italian Space Center in Malindi. Nevertheless, we now have received the response and we have shared it with Honorable Owen Baya, CBS MP. Honorable Speaker, even as I table the response as received, appended to this statement, allow me to give the House a brief on the issue for the benefit of all members. Honorable Speaker, the Kenya-Italy bilateral agreement on the Luigi Broglio Malindi Space Center was ratified by this House on 15th October 2020 and came into effect on 16th December 2020, following completion of exchange of diplomatic notes on the agreement between the two governments. The implementing parties on this agreement, which guides the management of the Space Center, which is located in Malindi Space Center, are the Kenya Space Agency and the Italian Space Agency. The center sits on 3.5 hectares of land under the Ministry of Defense. Honorable Speaker, the agreement provides the framework of collaboration between Kenya and Italy on peaceful use of outer space for scientific, technological, and socio-economic development of both nations, among others. It also provides for joint management of the Luigi Broglio Malindi Space Center. The cooperation framework is premised on 5 implementing arrangements as follows. A, support to the Kenya Space Agency. B, access to Earth observation and space science data. C, education and training. D, telemedicine. And E, establishment of a center for Earth observation. Honorable Speaker, the government of Kenya is concerned about the slow pace of implementation of the agreement, and I would like to inform the House that as a result, the Committee on Implementation has been following up on the implementation of the same. Unfortunately, Kenya is yet to see significant tangible benefits of the cooperation, and the truth be told, there is nothing much to show for it, either at the national level or even in the local community around the Space Center in Ngomeni, Malindi, Kilifi County. Honorable Speaker, the current activities at the Malindi Space Center are exclusively benefiting only the Italian Space Agency and its Western partner agencies through tracking, telemetry, and command services, and provision of space science and astronomical data to the Western scientific community. The facility is currently undertaking a number of commercial activities in support of satellite launches and provision of telemetry, tracking, and command services to a number of clients, including the French Ariane Space, European Space Agency, NASA, SpaceX, Chinese Aerospace Administration, and other international clients, with no significant share of profits accruing to the government of Kenya. 3 years into the new agreement, there is no traction on implementation of the agreement. The Italian side has made only token fulfillments on select obligations while avoiding the substantive ones. I wish to inform the House that the Committee of Implementation visited the center on the 11th of August 2023 to follow up on the status of implementation of a report that had been tabled by the Committee on Defense, Foreign Relations and Intelligence regarding this emotive matter. The agreement under Article 5 mandates the CEO of both the Space Center as part of the Joint Steering Committee. The CEO from the Italian side was not present for that particular meeting, and thus no one present from the Italian side would adequately answer the members when called upon. The Italian ambassador clarified that he had sent a reply to the questions that had been sent their way a day before the scheduled meeting. The committee agreed to meet them on a later date, and that's within the next 2 weeks we are supposed to be meeting them again. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Defense has equally raised its dissatisfaction over the same matter and now is seeking the intervention of this House for the push for our country to have its significant share of the benefit that derive from activities at the Malindi Space Center. Such matters include A, full disclosure and visibility into the commercial contracts entered into by the Malindi Space Center with third parties. B, establishment of Center for Earth Observation for access to crucial Earth observation data, as well as capacity building on development of applications. C, more presence of the Kenyan government personnel and visibility into the operations of the facility, including the commercial contracts. D, tangible capacity building and support for the growth of Kenya's space sector. And then E, joint project that is impactful and beneficial to Kenya. Honorable Speaker, that is a synopsis of the response, and I hereby submit the entire report as received from the Ministry of Defense and the management of the Italian Republic through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank you, Madam Speaker. I table the report.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Owen Bayer.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the Chairman of Implementation for the work they're doing. I raised this statement, Honorable Speaker, on the premise that the Luigi Broglio Center has been there for many years, but it has not benefited the people of Malindi, specifically the people of Ngomeni and Magarini constituencies where it is situated. Ngomeni is still a very poor place in spite of the lot of revenue that this center gets. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the committee. For the first time, Parliament has been allowed into that center for the first time in the history of this country. And I want to applaud the chairman for that effort, and also the Ministry of Defense for pushing to ensure that we get information from this very secretive space center. But I want to urge them. I know the ambassador has been trying to get to talk to the committee to understand what they are doing. But I would like to ask you to be tough, to get to the bottom of it. Kenyans must and should benefit from this. This parliament, the 12th parliament, which I sat in here, approved the agreement, the bilateral agreement, and it came to this chamber, and we debated, and we agreed in principle that we will approve this on the premise of the many projects that were to be undertaken in that agreement. That agreement, if you read it, you see there are projects for the community, there are projects for government, there are scholarships, but I have read the note verbal from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Italy. And they will tell you that they have offered so many scholarships, so many hundreds of scholarships in that letter. But I have not seen anybody from Magarini or from Malindi or from Kilifi who has benefited from those scholarships. So who are these people that are being given these scholarships that this ambassador is talking about? Honorable Speaker, I think it is time that we interrogate all agreements that come to this chamber and ensure that they have a benefit for the community. So in the 2 weeks that you have asked for, I am sure you will unearth these issues and ensure that the people of Ngomeni, the people of Magarini, benefit from this Brogolio Space Center. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bowen.
Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate the chair for that report. Madam Speaker, we happened to visit Ngomeni as a committee of Blue Economy because there is a landing site around that area. And before you get to Ngomeni, the landing site, you pass by the satellite center, the Italian satellite center. And Madam Speaker, I want to tell you, we were there for some days, and the community around that station, Madam Speaker, they are among the poorest in Kenya. Madam Speaker, even the road connecting the tarmac from the tarmac to Ngomeni, there is no even road. Madam Speaker, the landing site in Ngomeni, which we visited, and it was built by the State Department of Blue Economy, there is a water pipeline to the landing site. But you will find that there is a water line to the station, and the community even around that satellite, they don't have water. They don't have water, Madam Speaker, of which I wish the Italian station would just even help the community around there to give them even one water kiosk around that place. So I want to support the report by the Honorable Wanjala, and to make sure that the people of Ngomeni, the people of Malindi, the people of that constituency benefit from that station, Madam Speaker. I want to support, and I hope on the Honorable Wanjala, you are going to follow this report to the letter and make sure that the communities benefit from that station. I support.
Honourable members, we have very many statements that still have to be made by members, so I think we just allow us. Yes, yes. Okay, let us proceed to the next statement.
Order number 8, procedural motion, exemption of business from Standing Order 43.
Majority Leader. My apologies, Majority Leader. Apparently there's a question by member for Turkana North. Is he here? Okay, he's not here. Then we can proceed. Yeah? Okay. Majority Leader, you may proceed with your procedural motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I hope that question has been dropped because a member cannot have business lined up in the order paper and is not even in the House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as order number 14 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allotted for business not sponsored by the majority or the minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Honorable Speaker, as members will note, the order listed as order number 14 is Committee of the Whole House on Critical Government Business, on the Climate Change Bill, the Anti-Money Laundering Bill, the Food and Feed Safety Control Bill, which are lined up for third reading or Committee of the Whole House this morning. That's why the House Business Committee resolved that we have this procedural motion this morning to allow us to transact that business, Honorable Speaker, listed as order number 14. With that, Honorable Speaker, being a procedural motion, I don't have much more to say and ask the Deputy Leader of Majority to second. I move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. This being a procedural motion and being a Wednesday, I second the motion and ask that members support so that we can transact the business that is ahead of us. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as order number 14 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Okay, is that the mood of the House? Honorable members. Honorable Millie, order. Honorable Millie Odhiambo, please do not shout. Is it the mood of the House that we put the question? The mood of the House that we don't put the question? The ayes have it, so I shall proceed to put the question. Honorable members, I now put the question that this House resolves to exempt business appearing as order number 14 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. And honorable members, if you request in the you don't have sufficient numbers, unfortunately. Let's proceed to... Honorable Nyikal, you're out of order. If you want to make a point of order, just request to make a point of order and we will allow you. Honorable Nyikal, you're out of order. Please be seated. Honorable Nyikal, please be seated. You can request to raise a point of order. Honorable Makalu, what do you want to raise? You can raise your point of order.
You know, Honorable Speaker, with all due respect, we are not opposing this motion. And anytime we say point of order, it is important you allow us to raise the issues we have. What we are saying, Honorable Speaker, the motion on climate change, the bill on climate change, and the money laundering bill were debated in this House yesterday afternoon. Yesterday, sorry. Honorable Majority Leader, you have said many times, you listen to proceedings of the House even when you are not in this House. Why do you want to have double standards for members? Why do you want double standards for members?
Proceed. Let him proceed.
It's not a must that I must sit here for me to listen to the House proceedings. And the Honorable Chair, I remember very well, just to confirm I was listening, Honorable T.J. Kagwang did indicate that he would want to move some amendments to this bill. That was said yesterday afternoon. Now, when you bring this bill this early in the morning, on a serious note, understanding orders are very clear in terms of allowing members to have time to move their amendments. What are we doing to this House? Our own standing orders. Madam Chair, I think we have been very unfair to members in terms of their own motions. Today is Wednesday, when we should be discussing private members' bills. Personally, I have a bill which is in the queue. I have not been allocated time to prosecute my bill. And the only time we have, Wednesday morning, then we take it up with the bills which have been rushed through. No value to this country, and we continue supporting them because weka swali.
Okay. What's your point of order, Honorable Millie?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there's a growing trend which is very dangerous in this House. We know that we have a majority in the House, as has been proven even by the ayes. We know we have a minority. But the practice is you let the minority have their say, even as the majority have their way. But the way we are moving in this House is very dictatorial, and we are muzzling members' voices. And sometimes we have very valid issues that we want to raise. We will still have reached the same conclusion, but having heard our voices. Madam Speaker, the concern I wanted to raise, which I was not given a chance, is that I have forwarded amendments to 2 of the bills that were subject of that motion. They were subject of that motion, and I'm on a point of order, so the majority leader cannot overrule my point of order. So, Madam Speaker, I have brought amendments to the climate bill, which I've forwarded. I have brought amendments to the food and feed bill, which I have forwarded. So all I wanted to know, because we are moving at supersonic speed, has the House received my amendments? And are we going to prosecute my amendments this morning? From the history of this House, you know I rarely come to this House in the morning. But I'm here from the moment you started, because I take my work seriously, especially at the committee of the whole House. And I want to correct the majority leader, it's not third reading, it's committee of the whole House. And I want to say therefore, Madam Speaker, that when we are moving at supersonic speed, and we are not giving members a chance to prosecute their own amendment. But I'm on a point of order. How can you overrule my point of order? Or we no longer have rules in this House. If I'm on a point of order, you do not overrule my point of order, Madam Speaker.
Your point of order, I thought.
Yeah, but that you should not then allow him to stand while I'm still standing. It's unprocedural. Madam Speaker, be very fair. It's very unprocedural.
Okay,
I will sit down and I follow the rules, but I sit down when you tell me my time is done. But it doesn't stand when I'm standing, whether it's majority leader or heavenly leader. I will not stand when I'm standing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. You've made your point. You'll get a chance. Let us proceed. Yes, majority leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I choose to ignore the unnecessary tirade from Honorable Millie Odhiambo, who has her own issues, which have nothing to do with the House or the leader of majority. She can deal with her issues at home, not here. Honorable Speaker, our standing order number 85 is quite clear, Honorable Speaker. We were at order number 8. When I listen, if you can protect me from the spewing of what you can hear from the Honorable Member for Suba something. We are at order number 8, Honorable Speaker. And from the issues I've had been canvassed by Honorable Makali,
Honorable Millie Odhiambo,
Honorable Millie.
Honorable Millie, if you continue shouting from there, I will have you leave the House. But please be orderly. If you do, this is the last warning I'm giving you. Yes. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying we're at order number 8. When I listened to what the Honorable Makali, who is a very decent and honorable member, who prosecutes his issues with a lot of decorum and maturity, without having to shout, without having to spew the kind of things you hear being spewed. Honorable Speaker, order number 8 was a procedural motion. We are yet to get to order number 14. If I count, we have another 5 orders before we get to order number 14. So 5 motions, Honorable Speaker. So I was wondering, why are we now jumping order number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and prosecuting order number 14? And Honorable Millie is speaking about procedures. Procedurally, you should wait for order number 14 to raise the issues you have on order number 14. The same with my good brother and very good friend, the Honorable Makali. And he knows, that's why you see him smiling. He's not as emotional as Honorable Millie. Because he knows what he's doing is not the right thing. And I would beg, Honorable Speaker, that we proceed with the orders as listed on the order paper, because what I see now is filibustering and trying to waste our valuable time after we woke up very early to be here. And you know, some of us like Millie and myself, myself I'm usually here, but Millie usually comes at 6 p.m. It is now 9, not 6 p.m., Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member, Honorable Chepkonga, what is it?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I raise pursuant to Standing Order number 85, as read together with Standing Order number 83. Madam Speaker, there's a trend in this House where everybody just stands on a point of order. Standing Order number 83 is very clear. Madam Speaker, you must not allow any member, including the member of Kitui Central, who is serving his 3rd term, to shout point of order, and he has no point of order that he's standing on. He's a ranking member. He has not quoted any standing order. I've listened very carefully. I have listened no, don't worry about my going home. Going home is natural, including going to heaven. That is, in fact, on one day you will go home to heaven. Forget about the one here. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I'd like to request you for order of this House, because we will entertain chaos from very senior members, including my very junior member, junior learned friend, Millie Odhiambo. No, you are my junior. I am serving 33 years in the legal profession. You know, you must know that one. She has never appeared in court. No, she has never appeared, and she has never prosecuted any case. So, so I must say this, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, secondly, Standing Order number 85 is very clear on anticipating debate on a matter that you have not even called. Madam Speaker, secondly, no member should be acting for and on behalf of another member, and particularly the member for Kitui Central. It does not represent Honorable TJ Kajwang. You know, Honorable TJ Kajwang is a lawyer, and he cannot be represented by an accountant unless there's a problem with accounts. He's not an accountant. No, what is he? He's an economist. It's even worse.
Make your point, Honorable Chepkonga. Let us proceed. Let us proceed. Let us proceed. Honorable KJ, no, Honorable KJ, please proceed. Honorable Millie, you are on the last warning. You cannot stand there and shout. You can press the intervention button.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
No, I didn't give you an opportunity.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I did not give you an opportunity to speak.
You said KJ proceed.
No, I said order, be orderly. Proceed to the next order.
Order number 9, motion. Establishment of a National Cancer Prevention and Control Fund. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that Article 42(1)(a) of the Constitution provides for the right of every citizen, every person, to access the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to healthcare services, and further aware that cancer is among the leading causes of death in the country, and noting that although the budgetary allocation for healthcare services is progressive, it is inadequate to cater for cancer prevention and care across the country. Further noting that cancer control in the country is hampered by the inadequate cancer care infrastructure and limited specialized human resource capacity, and recognizing that a significant number of cancer patients do not complete the prescribed treatment due to the high cost of cancer management. Further recognizing that the Cancer Prevention and Control Act of 2012 seeks to promote the access to quality and affordable diagnostic and treatment services for persons with cancer, and to ensure a sustainable capacity for the prevention and control of cancer. This House resolves that the government, through the National Treasury, establishes a National Cancer Prevention and Control Fund to promote prevention, control, and treatment of cancer in the country. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 10, motion, development and implementation of a child care program for children whose parents are in lawful custody. Question to be put.
Apologies, Honorable Millie was engaging me, so I got distracted. It's order number 10, yeah? 10 or 9? Question to be put, huh? Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution, sorry, 10. No, actually my paper is. Is it the one of children? Yes, so you've actually put it as order number 9 on my order paper. Okay, honorable members, I now put the question that aware that Article 53 of the Constitution provides for the rights of children, including the right to free and compulsory basic education, and further aware that Section 22 of the Persons Deprived of Liberty Act and Child Care Policy provides for the care of a child whose parent is deprived of liberty until the child attains the age of 4 years, and recognizing that the children above the age of 4 years still require parental support, and further recognizing that majority of the children often suffer from emotional distress, social stigma, and economic hardships. Cognizant of the fact that all children should be accorded the means of maintaining their relationship with their incarcerated parents, and noting that children have restricted economic resources available for their support, which in turn negatively impacts on their lives. This House therefore urges the government, through the State Department of Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, to develop and implement a program for the care of children above the age of 4 years whose parents are in lawful custody. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Your point of order, Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand on a point of order seeking from you to make it clear whether, Honorable Speaker, the front desk led by the Chief Whip and the Chair Committee on Delegated Legislation are in order, Honorable Speaker, to continue talking while you are reading and you are on your feet. Whether, Honorable Speaker, they are exempt from that decision of the House, or what is the implication of that, Honorable Speaker? Thank you.
Okay, let's proceed. I think they have noted your advice. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 11, motion. National policy on deworming of school-going children. Question to be put.
Honorable members. Honorable members, I now put the question. Sorry, my order paper seems to have been mixed up. It's different from the one everyone has. Okay. Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution, this is the wrong order. Let me have, this is the wrong order paper. Which one? Honorable members, I now put the question, my apologies for that, I seem to have a wrong order paper. That aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution provides for every person has a right to the highest attainable standard of health, including the right to health care services, and further aware that the relationship between health and education plays a significant role in school attendance rates. Concerned that the negative effects of poor sanitation, such as parasite infestations, particularly among school children, lead to anemia, stunted growth, and other silent problems, which in turn lead to low school attendance and impact education standards. Recognizing that according to research and school-based, deworming is one of the most cost-effective interventions that provides a huge range of holistic and social benefits, such as increased school attendance, healthier kids who do better in school, and while utilizing already existing school structures in administering deworming treatments to school pupils. Recalling that previous programs conducted by the Ministry of Health in partnership with non-governmental organizations called Evidence Action has only been piloted in a few selected counties, and that the deworming efforts have been uncoordinated and dependent on external support, which with no clear policy or budgetary framework. Now, therefore, this House urges the national government through the Ministry of Health to develop a national policy on deworming school-going children as a crucial part of mainstreaming of health care access. Any of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, motion. Public health concerns at Langata Cemetery. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that Article 42 of the Constitution provides for the right of every person to a clean and healthy environment. Further aware that Article 69 of the Constitution obligates the state to ensure sustainable utilization of the environment and natural resources, including land. Recognizing that the fourth schedule to the Constitution assigns the national government the function of land planning, including the general principles of land planning and coordination of planning by counties, as well as matters of health policy. Further recognizing that there is an ongoing public outcry regarding the neglect of Langata Public Cemetery was declared full close to 2 decades ago. Concerned that this matter has been left unaddressed and poses significant health risks to the public. Deeply concerned that this situation has led to overcrowding, double allocation of burial sites, with bodies being buried in shallow graves, leading to frequent uncovering by wild animals from the nearby national park. Further concerned that this has caused untold anguish, pain, and suffering to bereaved families, and psychological torment to the neighboring community. Now, therefore, this House urges the national government, through the Ministry of Health, to urgently conduct an assessment of the public health risks posed by the continued use of Langata Cemetery, to institute migratory measures and collaborate with other stakeholders, including the Nairobi City County government, to identify suitable alternative land for use as a cemetery. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 13, motion, development and implementation of a program for voluntary regularization of land occupied by squatters. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that aware that lack of access to ownership of productive assets, in particular to land, is one of the very serious sources of economic and social insecurity for Kenyans. Further aware that many communities, particularly in the rural income dwellers, and the only way of accessing land in rural income dwellers, the only way of accessing land to put up their dwellings has been to take up residence on land that is unfit for human habitation. Aware that the Bill of Rights in Chapter 4 of the Constitution guarantees every citizen the right to adequate housing and reasonable standards of sanitation, noting that there are very many squatters who have settled on land that belongs to either absentee landlords, unadjudicated land, public land, or community land for long periods of time, with some disputed while others are undisputed. Concerned that the issue of land settlement in many urban areas, particularly in the informal settlements, has remained unresolved, with numerous persons remaining squatters, further aware that Section 7 of the Limitation of Actions Act of 2010 provides for the right to claim for the settlement on certain land after a prescribed period. Recognizing the need for the Ministry of Lands to hasten the process of identifying parcels of land occupied by squatters where there are no disputes from any party, this House resolves that the government develops and implements a policy of voluntary regularization of land occupied by squatters for a prescribed period, including negotiations for financial settlements across the country to address the challenges facing the said squatters. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Aye. The ayes have it. Next order. Yes, your point of order. Honorable Nyika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. As we move to order number 14, Madam Speaker, I rise to seek your guidance. Because when you come to order number 14, we are going to committee of the whole House. The issues that are being discussed there, starting with number 1, is climate change amendment bill. Madam Speaker, this bill was actually discussed in the second reading yesterday afternoon and concluded actually much late, towards 6, actually maybe after 6. And today, this morning, we have actually sought a procedural motion so that we put it in the committee of the whole House. Madam Speaker, this process does not give members opportunity to actually put amendments if they wish to do so. Madam Speaker, if you look at it properly, logistically, by the time we were discussing this bill, anybody who was thinking of making an amendment was already barred because of the time. So what has happened, Madam Speaker, is that at this speed, members do not get the time to actually contribute and even put amendments. Madam Speaker, I myself, I have amendments that are proposed in climate bill, in the climate change bill. Madam Speaker, I'm not sure because I signed them this morning, and when I was signing them, I was actually advised that as I'm signing them, they are actually already time barred. So Madam Speaker, where then is the time for members to actually put amendment if they wish to do so? If we finish a matter at 7 in the evening and at 9 it is in the House, and it's a bill where there was a lot of contentious issue and members indicated they wouldn't want to put amendments. I know some people may say that this particular bill has been in the House for some time and one could have put amendments earlier. But the truth is that, Madam Speaker, we come and sit in this, particularly when a bill is being moved. The most important time for a bill is when the mover is actually prosecuting the bill. You get a lot of information from what the mover is saying. You get educated. Other members make contributions. And from that, then members can make their minds as to whether they want to put amendments or not. If that time is not allowed, when then do the members get the time to make the amendments? I have 3 amendments for this. I'm not sure, as I see here, they are not in the order paper. So I would actually propose, Madam Speaker, that you actually give direction. Madam Speaker, just give me time.
No, I just want to explain to you that your amendments came after the order paper had been printed, that it was approved.
Thank you very much. And it will come.
Yes.
And Madam Speaker, while I thank you for that.
And many people actually brought in their amendments, despite you saying that there wasn't enough time. I was surprised that I had, I think, 10 early this morning. By 8 o'clock, you were at my desk for approval.
But thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I like that. But I again, as I thank you, please, you approve them, but you actually approve them out of time, which is a good thing you did. But let us not run the House in such a way that sometimes, even from the important seat of the Speaker, we have to do things out of order because we did not follow the procedures. I thank you for that, but we are seeing a trend that will make it difficult. Madam Speaker, let me make a point. And then
Honorable Nyikal,
Madam, I'm
misleading the House.
I've thanked you.
Honorable Nyikal,
but let me make this point.
None of those were approved out of time. They were within time. We just said that the printing, yours particularly, by that time it had been printed. So what you're canvassing has already been overtaken by events.
I agree, Madam Speaker, but let me just make this last point and thank you again. Madam Speaker, supermajority is good because it can make the executive do a lot of good things for the country in good time. But it is a double-edged sword because it can also make the executive do very many bad things very quickly, if in a situation as we are. But for this particular one, I thank you. But the process I've said, keep in mind, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
We have at all times stuck to the process. So I think we'll move to the next order. Point of order, Honorable Millie. At least now you're being polite. Proceed.
Madam Speaker, I think you also need to understand God endowed us very differently. There are people who speak softly. Some of us were not born speaking softly. So with my loud voice, it is not rudeness, it's just the way I was born. So please be used to my voice. I just wanted to find out whether my amendments are in for the climate change and for the food and feed.
I must congratulate you. I did sign the approval very early this morning. So
thank you, Madam Speaker.
And that's why I'm saying, Honorable Nyikal, you can see members have been active. They all brought in their amendments despite the short time.
Yeah, so, though for the money laundering, I didn't have the time. Madam Speaker, just finally, just for record, because sometimes when things are not put in order, that's what I wanted to raise. I wanted to remind my honorable member for Anabkoi that I'm actually senior. You know, as a lawyer, you know what it means. I was sworn in before him. So I'm a senior. And I've been a litigation counsel, state law office, Federation of Women Lawyers, the Credo the Children Foundation. Litigation means court going. I'm sure he doesn't know.
Thank you. Honorable members, allow me to recognize visitors who are at the public gallery. The church group Neno Evangelism from Laikipia West constituency, Laikipia County. Also seated in the public gallery is Higher Calling Church Group from Laikipia West, Laikipia County. I also wish to recognize, seated in the speaker's gallery, students and teachers from St. Joseph's Primary School from Dagoretti South constituency, Nairobi County. On my own behalf and that of the entire House, I wish to welcome you to Parliament. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 13. Order number 14, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, we are already in the Committee of the Whole House, and we will start with the Climate Change Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 42 of 2023, as in the order paper. And as you've been informed, where amendments are not in the order paper, they have been approved, all of them shall be considered when reached. So we'll start, honorable members, and I request that all of us, order members, order. I'll request that all of us be keen at this stage, because this is really the crux of the work of this House. In lawmaking, this is the most important part because we go clause by clause. So, honorable members, I request you to be very keen, especially those who have amendments to the various bills to be considered this morning, so that we don't reach you and you're not ready. Thank you.
Clause 3.
Honorable members, clause 3 of the climate change bill has no amendment, and I therefore go ahead to propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. If there are no takers, I now go ahead to put the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Honourable members, I proceed to propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. This the clause 4 this bill has two proposed
amendments by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo and Honorable Nyikal. They are both proposing deletion. Honorable Millie Odhiambo, this is your chance.
Thank you, Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. Chairman, I propose...
Just hold. The Honorable Kangogo. Honorable Ruku, please take your seat. And I want to request members all the time, not now, but all the time, whenever someone is a member is speaking, you should always not come between the person speaking and the speaker. I see that happening every day. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My point of order is that the members who have proposed amendments to various sections, it is not in this order paper. We are seeking, Mr. Speaker, if there is a supplementary paper so that we understand, even prior to that amendment, what these other members are seeking. So we seek your intelligence that that be provided.
The proposed amendments by members have been circulated. The ones that are on the order paper are being circulated as I speak. So they're going to reach you just now. But the effect of the amendments being proposed by Honorable Nyikal and Honorable Millie Odhiambo is to delete clause 4. So, is it a point of order or? Okay, the Honorable Wandai.
Just for good order. Just for good order, Mr. Chair.
No, she's
because,
not.
Mr. Chair, if you could listen to me, I look like lucky. If you say the proposed amendments are coming in a short while, how long is a short while? Because we can't proceed with this unless we have them on our desks. We need all the proposed amendments on our desks so that we can be able to prosecute them appropriately. So we can still take time and wait for them to come. There's no hurry. The world is not ending today. No, we can just take time, good time. Mr. Chair, yes.
I'm aware that as we speak, the amendments, the Honorable Chungwa, point of order, I've said that the proposed amendments that are not in the order paper are being circulated. I request members to be patient on their seats. These are going to come to you. In any case, I've just said that the proposed amendment for clause 4 is for deletion. Yes, Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Chairman. You know, Honorable Chairman, we did raise some fundamental issues earlier. And the majority leader and the Honorable Chief Kong just took it casually. Mr. Chairman, the truth of the matter is the reason why there's a requirement for the order paper to be published a number of hours to the day of the debate is to be able for the members to prepare themselves. And even when you say we are approving these amendments in the morning, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, we need to note that the reason why we have standing orders is to have a well-structured way of doing our business as a house. So, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, in a situation where you want us to debate amendments, and they are not in this order paper, I appreciate the fact that they have been circulated. But even after being circulated, Honorable Chair, you realize, still, for you to internalize those amendments, and if you want to do any research on them, there's no time. So today we can agree that we want to do things the way we are doing them. But I think for the future, Honorable Chairperson, for the future, and for the good way of conducting business in this house, we need to stick to our rules. I submit.
Members, I have to make this very clear. Honorable Makali and I have been in this house for the last 3 terms now, and we know that this is not the first time members will be requesting the Speaker to approve the amendments, even when amendment is already being on the floor. So many times you've had your amendment being approved by the Speaker, even when a matter is in the floor being debated. So let's not split hairs on this matter. The Speaker already ruled on how we are going to proceed. So I will not entertain any further point of order on this matter. We shall proceed as per the order paper. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I propose that clause 4 be amended as per the order paper. And the essence of the amendment, Chair, is that what the proposed amendment by the majority leader does in effect is to remove the issue of public participation as is contained right now in the schedule. And what I'm seeking to do is to retain the elaborate public participation on issues of climate change as proposed, as contained in the current act. I therefore propose, Chair.
Majority Leader.
Chair, I rise to support that amendment by Millie. And indeed...
Order. Just take your seat for a minute. Yeah. Honourable members, I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the Honourable Millie Odhiambo. Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Sorry, Chair, I rose even before you proposed. I was saying I rise to support that amendment, the amendment by Honourable Millie, and is similar to an amendment that the Chair also has. So if it passes, then we are good, because it is buttressing what is already provided for in our Constitution, that public participation is cardinal to everything that relates to our people. And therefore, I support. And you can put the question.
The Majority Leader, you need to consult with the Chair, because the Chair is proposing to do something different from what you just said. Honourable Nyikal.
Thank you, Chair. I had a similar amendment, which means that if this amendment is concluded, the same will apply for my amendment. But, Mr. Speaker, I proposed a similar amendment. I support. We cannot hurry when we are making laws to kill the laws that are very pertinent to our Constitution, like public participation. I said yesterday, we are hurrying this law, and it is to no good. I therefore support that section be deleted. I support the amendment.
Chair of this committee. And remember, we are prosecuting.
Thank you. Yes. Honourable Speaker, first of all, I want to thank Mheshimiwa Honourable Millie, Member of Parliament kutoka Suba, and I agree with her. She went through the bill, she read and she understood, and we totally agree that, as the Majority Leader said, the cardinal aspect of this country's legislation is public participation, and we totally agree with her. Mine is different, to move another within. It's just a typo, not on what really the difference. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Okay, Honourable members, I therefore put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by Honourable Millie. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The effect of that amendment, therefore, is that the chairperson of the committee cannot move his amendment because there's no clause further to have an to be amended. I now put the question that clause 4 as be deleted as proposed by the Honourable Millie. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will that of opinion say nay?
Clause 5.
I propose a question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Members, clause 5 has no amendment. I go to put the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I propose the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. There's a proposed amendment by Honourable Nyikal and Honourable Millie and Honourable Chairperson. So we'll start with Honourable Nyikal.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that clause 6 be amended as in the order paper, and the import of this amendment, Chair, is that we delete the whole of 6, because what the whole of 6 is doing is actually amending clause 6 of the section 7 of the bill, which is about members of the council that are proposed. And my reasoning, Chair, is that if you look, the composition of the council as it is, the council will be nominated as follows: cabinet secretaries responsible for environment and climate, cabinet secretary responsible for national treasury, cabinet secretary responsible for economic planning, cabinet secretary responsible for energy, the chairman of the council of governors, a representative of the private sector nominated by a body representing the largest number of private institutions, a representative of the civil society nominated by the most representative registered national umbrella association of civil societies, and C, representative of the marginalized community within the meaning of Article 26 of the Constitution, who has knowledge and experience in matters relating to this, and representative of the academia nominated by the Commission of University Education. What the bill is intending to do, Chair, is that all the cabinet secretaries, they stay in the bill, but when you come to the persons that are actually stakeholders, representative of private sector nominated by the body representing the largest number of institutions in the private sector, what happens there, Chair, is that private sector, the rest is actually deleted, which means that the private sector will not themselves now appoint or select or identify. That will then be identified by the president. The same thing when you come with the civil society, again, the civil society themselves will not nominate, select, or appoint. That will be appointed, selected by the president. When you have the commission of academia, again, they will not be nominated by the Commission of University Education. Chair, what you end up with, the whole council is actually nominated by the president. I know there's a saving grace that is being put there, that all this will be brought to Parliament for vetting. But, Mr. Speaker, if you have an institution where all the council members are actually nominated by the president, you are just making it a department of the government. It ceases. The stakeholders have no say, because the stakeholders are actually indebted to the person who has appointed them, even though they are representing their various institutions. You are weakening this council to an extent that actually it will just be an arm of the government. In fact, it will be an instrument of the president. That may be good, that the president has sole power on it, but really the president needs varied views from various stakeholders to make a decision. So, Mr. Speaker, I propose that we delete this and leave the council as it was in the previous bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Members, I propose a question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by Honorable Nyikal. We'll come to you as Honorable Millie. I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by Honorable Nyikal. What's out of order, Honorable Millie? We are coming to you as. You know, the effect of this question I'm putting is that if it's carried, then yours become negatory. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. So allow this to be done, then in case it's carried, then you achieve what you want to achieve anyway. So I now therefore put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by Honorable Nyikal. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The nays have it. The Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Yeah. Honorable Millie, take your seat for a minute. Because the Honorable Chair had amendments. So, Chair of the committee. Honorable Millie, just allow a minute so that the Honorable Chair of the committee. My life is already easy, Millie. Just give me a minute, Honorable Millie. 1 minute. You're going to come. So, Honorable Chair of the committee.
Honorable Chair, thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move. I beg, Honorable Chair, to drop this amendment that is ours on clause 6, because we were proposing to have 2 nominees from the private sector. But again, when we looked at the numbers, we are going to have an even number, which is not right. So we are dropping this to retain the way the bill is, to have the way the bill is. But I have the amendment on part 5 of 6, where we are not agreeing with the bill, where we are saying Article 260, where the marginalized is appointed, we are deleting that and retain as the original, as the way it is in the original bill. Thank you, Chair.
So, Chair, then would you therefore move the amendment you're proposing for subparagraph 5?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to move that subparagraph 5 be deleted as per the order paper, and the justification for that, Honorable Chair, is that we don't want to affect any constitutionality of an amendment where, if you remove the marginalized is nominated as per Article 260 in the Constitution. So again, when we delete and we say that the President can appoint without taking into consideration Article 260, then I think that is unconstitutional. So we are deleting subparagraph 5 of Section 6. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I therefore propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Gikaria, Chairperson of the committee. I now put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed by Honorable Gikaria. Will as many as that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Then, Honorable Millie, this is now your chance to move your amendments with the rider that you will not move on what has just been deleted. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, this is actually where I'd wanted to make your life easier. I'd wanted to indicate that the import of the amendments that have been defeated by Honorable Nyikal actually affects some of my amendments. And that affects my amendment to 6A2, which is on the private sector. So therefore I dropped that because I'd wanted to retain the private sector to have a say. Secondly, I also will drop my proposed amendment to 6A3, which also retained the voice of civil society, but which has also failed through Nyikal's amendment. And then, Chair, if you notice also, I'd actually tried to speak to the amendment by the chair of the committee, because I had a similar amendment, but for slightly different, other than the constitutional issue, but also because of the issue of indigenous knowledge. And I'll give you an example, Chair, that for instance, in my constituency, you have old men who can tell you weather patterns. They will tell you that it is going to rain when there is no sign of rain. And they are not witches, it's just years of experience. So because that has been carried, my proposed amendment is carried. And then chair for 6, also by nomination by the Commission of University Education, by the failing of Honorable Nyikals, I therefore drop mine. And then finally, chair for 6B was not moved by either, but it's not that important. I think I can drop it. The ones that were very...
of Spain in her first season sub-2 takes lane 5. Karina Lakura Nakang of the athlete refugee team goes in lane 4. Vivian Kiprotich of Kenya takes lane 3. It wasn't good for the Kenyan men yesterday in the heats. Really struggled. Wanyonyi and his teammates not really coping with the heats. Let's see if Kiprotich can do better this morning. Evelina Maitonen of Finland goes in lane 2. She went sub-2 for the first time at the Pabu Nurmu Games in Turku. 1:59.96 her best. So the qualification to make it through to the semi-final, which will be on Friday evening. It's first 3 in each heat and then just 3 time qualifiers across 7 heats.